Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the Resource Center here at the SafePlace. We are here to honor a lady whose work over the past 35 years has been absolutely phenomenal in taking care of the people of Austin. We have some very special guests with us on this 9th day of December of 2016 for this Recognize Good Legends ceremony. First off, we have Christina Langa, who will say a few words about our honoree. We have Melinda Cantu, and is everyone come in?
That's me.
Ah, okay, very good. Now I make that association. And of course, we want to say thanks to Frankie Fowler, our honoree and our newest legend today. Frankie. I'm going to start by saying a few words about Recognize Good, our programs, and what we do for the community. Recognize Good is a program that we started back in 2009. And whenever we found people giving thanks via the internet, that some of those thank yous were head and shoulders above others. And so we finally recognized the fact that there are a lot of people out there who are doing great things over a number of years, doing a single deed a number of times, or doing a number of good deeds. And so we started what we call our Legends program in Recognize Good, and that's where we are today. And Frankie, I want you to know that it was not me, it was not Joel or any of the folks here who picked you to be a legend. We got the nomination with working with Langa on this, and we vetted it in our group, and we said, yes, this person deserves the consideration. And then we sent that nomination out to our past legends. And we have an active group who've been active since 2010, and they selected you to be part of that group of fine people. So it's not ours, but it's your peers now that have selected you to be a legend of Recognize Good. And it's not only just today that's going to be important for you and for us, because we're honoring you, we're also honoring your work, and if we can do more to increase resources, volunteerism, donations, volunteer hours with SafePlace using this kind of format, then we've accomplished our purpose. And it doesn't end today, because starting in January, and you'll have a leg up on a lot of the other legends from earlier this year, we're going to have what we call our Say Thanks Austin campaign. The Say Thanks Austin campaign is an opportunity for people in your professional networks, your social networks, your friends, your neighbors, your acquaintances, to say thanks to you once a day, starting on the 5th of January, going through the 30th of January, to say thanks to you on Twitter, on Facebook, via email, via text, any one of those. We'll even have some paper ballots here where folks can write in your name to say thanks. We've gotten thank yous, as you would imagine, mainly from the state of Texas, but from 50 states and from 5 continents. We've had thank yous come in from Africa and Australia in our Say Thanks Austin campaign. And I'll tell you, the legend who receives the most thank yous in this campaign receives a $10,000 pay-it-forward donation. We'll make that presentation in a ceremony at Austin City Hall on Friday the 17th of February. We'll have all the legends there, and you'll get to meet those folks who are part of your class of 2016. But that's for the legends. And let me talk about some of the other programs, because our purpose is to illuminate the good that we see. Now, I certainly don't have to tell you about the bad things that are going on in our society. You deal with those things every day. We are looking for the good, to illuminate the good. And we use our Legends program to do that. We also have what we call the Lighthouse Award. And the Lighthouse Award, we pick a civic organization based on input in a nomination, where we make a donation of $250 to the Personal Energy Transportation for the work that that civic organization has done. Our most recent one just last week was to the Vipers Against Child Abuse. And we made a $250 donation to that organization, and we made a $250 donation to the Personal Energy Transportation. And if you're not aware of that, you can go to our website and see these devices. They are 3-wheeled, hand-cranked devices that people in third world countries can use. Those folks who have lost the use of their legs, don't have mobility, get these things free of charge. And some folks will spend up to 10 hours a day on their pets. And the Tyrex group and the Tyrex technology family is proud to be part of that organization that builds pets. I think Tyrex this past year built over 360 of it that were shipped out to the countries. So that's two of the programs. Our third program is what we call Ethics in Youth Education, where we talk to high school students and give them an opportunity to come up with a new type of resume that says you can show how you are an ethical person, that you want to show that what you've done has been ethical, and we teach them to put that in resumes so that they have a leg up on other people when potential employers look at that and can see the ethics background that they have. Then finally we have what we call our Ethics in Business and Community Awards. That's an annual organization, an annual event that recognizes a small business, a medium-sized business, a large business, a nonprofit, and an individual for displaying the highest ethical standards in their business practices throughout the year. That will be in May at the AT&T Conference Center, just off the UT campus. And I believe it's May 18th, but I'm not sure on that date. So that is Recognize Good in a nutshell, what we do. And I said our purpose is to illuminate the good that we see from organizations and from people, and that's why we are here today. What that brings us down to now is that we get to talk about the person, the reason why we are here, to talk about Frankie, and I will ask Christina Langa, also known as Langa, in the same vein as Bono and Sting.
Chair, Madonna. Thank you, George. Well, thanks y'all for coming. Frankie, thank you for being here. My name is Langa. I'm the Volunteer Services Director here at the Safe Alliance, and I've had the distinct pleasure of knowing Frankie for 12 years, and just being witness to the work that she's done here at first the Center for Battered Women. Frankie has regaled me with stories of a time when volunteers actually slept at the shelter overnight and did overnight shifts. That was before my time here at SafePlace and at the Safe Alliance. For 12 of Frankie's years, she worked in our Expect Respect program, and that was something that was of deep significance and meaning to her. Educating the community, particularly youth, is something that is powerful and meaningful, and with her grace and dynamic charisma, she really made a connection with folks of all ages, but particularly youth. And then in recent, actually the kind of common thread through all the years is that her time has been with the hotline. It's sort of been like that heartbeat through the whole time period here at SafePlace, first Center for Battered Women, then SafePlace, and now the Safe Alliance, and her work at the shelter. And I know that Erin and Melinda will have more to offer around her time at the shelter. Today, she spends her time giving back to the community and community education, and I love that her charisma applies to all ages. In fact, earlier this year, I got a phone call from a local church who had had Frankie out last year, and they said, we want Miss Frankie Fowler back again because she left such an impression on their congregation, and they specifically wanted her to return. So the way I feel about you, Frankie, is that you are an original in all senses. There's a grace in the way that you carry yourself, a compassion, a generosity, and your humor that is just a delight to be around. So it's been my honor to know you for 12 years and to get to be a part of this milestone that we're recognizing you for 35 years. So thank you, Frankie, for what you do.
Before I ask Erin to come up, I want to make one very special announcement that one of the gifts that we give is a plant so that the person has, our legend has, a living remembrance of today's ceremony. And when I went to pick up our plant for today, I went to the Randalls in Lakeway, and the the folks at the floral counter know me, and they said, well, we don't have any bromeliads, but an amaryllis may be nice. And they did ask me who was going to receive this amaryllis. And I said it was Frankie Fowler, who has volunteered 35 years at SafePlace. And the lady looked at me and she said, please take these and give them to SafePlace. So from Randall's, we have some flowers that we can put around SafePlace, the shelter, wherever you guys feel they are necessary. But thank you to Randall's and Lakeway for the gifts of these 2 bundles of flowers. Our next speaker also has some background. I think it's positive. Erin Clark, if you would.
Definitely. Hello, everyone. I'm Erin Clark. I'm the Crisis Intervention Services Manager at the shelter. A large part of my job is supervising the hotline, and I've been with SafePlace 23 years. And I mentioned 23 years because when I started, Frankie was already here. She was well established as a hotline volunteer at our shelter, and she was seen by all to be the foundation of our hotline. You could always count on her to be there. She was unshakable. Anything that would come her way on the hotline, she would feel comfortable handling. And Frankie has always set the tone of how to best handle hotline calls and serve our hotline callers. She is endlessly patient, so compassionate, always respectful in her interactions with those that we serve, and she provides her services with so much love. And as a result, Frankie has trained so many new shelter and hotline volunteers and staff around best practices of how to work on the hotline and really in the shelter. And so it's so appropriate that our hotline is named the Frankie Fowler Hotline. All of us who work on the hotline work daily to support her legacy with each call that we take. Thank you, Frankie.
Thank you, Erin, and thank you, Langa. Those are wonderful comments. We're going to get to the good part right now. Melinda Cantu, the Executive Director, has a few words, and we have several presentations that we want to make.
Thank you so much, George.
You're welcome.
And Frankie. So my name is Melinda Cantu, and I am the Executive Director for SafePlace and one of the Vice Presidents for the Safe Alliance. And one of the most amazing and wonderful things about Recognize Good, this celebration, is that we get to honor people, just like you, Frankie, who have done tremendous amount of service, tremendous amount of work, and your undying commitment showed the rest of us who came after you what we were supposed to do. Who knew that we were supposed to be here, 25, 30 years? Who knew? But Frankie showed us. Frankie showed us that if you believe in something, if you have faith, that you try your hardest and you come every day and you show your love, your compassion, and your support. And you show it to the people you serve, and you show it to the people around you, and then they pick it up too. So what I want to tell you, Frankie, is that the faith that you have provided for so many countless survivors, staff, and other volunteers has shown a light for us that maybe sometimes we don't always get to see that positive thing because we hear so many horror stories day in and day out. But Frankie, you came every day and you showed that there is a light, there is hope, and your undying faith and peace in this community shows in everything that you do. So I am so honored to be here. I'm so honored to have spent the last 25 years watching you and working with you and working together side by side. And I'm so glad that there are places that Recognize Good is able to show and honor people who do this work in the community. So I appreciate it.
You ready for the gifts?
Be ready for the gifts. We have some gifts.
We have some very special gifts. I'll ask Frankie to come up. We have one for Langa as well. And a very special guest, Frankie's nephew,
Yes.
Aaron, if you would come up and help us with part of that.
So all this down here.
Okay. This one goes to Langa for her work in the nomination.
Okay, Linda, you did some amazing work in nominating Frankie. And shall I go ahead and talk about what our symbols are here?
Sure, and make sure you talk about what's in there too.
Oh, goodness, yes. Okay. So we have the mugs. The mug displays the recognized good symbols. The star is illumination, shining a light on the positive activities. The ribbon, right here, illustrates helping hands. The lines and stars of the pentagon represent the business and professional connectivity. The dove symbolizes peace. And the heart signifies caring. Let's talk about, oh goodness, we have some things in here. Tell me about this.
That is a recognized good flashlight.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, and wait, there's more. A gift card. And it's a gift card of $100
What?
for all the work that you did.
Okay. Thank you.
Same thing for Frankie.
Frankie, you too. You too. Look at this. I'm so excited about this.
Linda, this is our book of good deeds.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Frankie. So this is the Book of Good Deeds, which includes the original recognition and pictures and has pages for additional photos and news articles. That's my favorite. And this is that plant that George was telling us about for the legend. It's a living token. Oh my. Wow. Wow, wow. Okay, this is a check. Wow, a $1,000 check to SafePlace. This is wonderful. This is wonderful.
And Frankie gets to choose wherever that goes. And then the last item.
And this is a recognized good foundation check for the deposit in the account for the Safe Alliance. Would you like to say it?
Yeah, now Joe, do you want to get some pictures here or later? Later. Okay, let's turn it over to Frankie. And Melinda, hang on, because the very first thing that Frankie gets to do
Oh, wow,
is to
okay, here we
present
go.
a suit mug and a light to you
Aw.
for your work as the presenter today.
George mentioned things that I might say about the people in this room, but I want you to rest in peace. I'm not going to say anything about you, because you all are just among the many people who have helped me be the volunteer at SafePlace. So I don't have words, and I can't even remember everybody's name. So you all are in the group, and I say thank you to the group. And Melinda, I thank George for giving me this opportunity to make this presentation of the Recognizing Good mug and flashlight to you. I don't know whether you're a tea sipper or a coffee sipper, but whatever you put in this mug, I hope you remember recognize good, and that you also remember me.
Absolutely.
As I said, I don't want to try to call names because there are too many. Over 35 years, if I start talking with you, Aaron, you will start reminding me of people whose names I have forgotten. And Linda can certainly take me back. even talking with Langa. And so I won't try to call names. But oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. These words of my favorite hymn of praise express the reason why I decided to volunteer at the Center for Battered Women 35 years ago. Through the years, we've moved from CBW to SafePlace to Safe Alliance. Stop abuse for everyone. Through the years, the name may have changed, but the mission has only expanded. And I'm blessed to still be a part of this mission. Some of you have heard me say that when I came, it was my desire to give without thought of receiving. But much to my delight, I found that it is impossible to give without receiving. At SafePlace, and because of SafePlace, I have received and received and received, and here I stand today because of SafePlace, receiving this honor from the Recognized Good Legend program. My heart overflows with joy and thanksgiving, not just for me, but more importantly, for the Safe Alliance. For this agency, by every name, has accepted me, trained me, and continues to train me so that I may be a blessing to others. And so, to the Recognized Good Legend program, and all of those who represent that program here today, from the Safe Alliance and from me, I say, oh, how happy you have made us.